I'll continue reading from the Grand Inquisitor. They will finally cry out that the truth is not in you, for it was impossible to leave them in greater confusion and torment than you did, abandoning them so many cares and insoluble problems. Thus you yourself laid the foundation for the destruction of your own kingdom, and do not blame anyone else for it. Yet is this what was offered you? There are three powers, only three powers on earth, capable of conquering and holding captive forever the conscience of these feeble rebels for their own happiness. These powers are miracle, mystery, and authority. You rejected the first, the second, and the third, and gave yourself as an example of that. When the dread and wise spirit set you on a pinnacle of the temple and said to you, if you would know whether or not you are the Son of God, cast yourself down, for it is written of him that the angels will bear him up, and he will not fall or be hurt. And then you will know whether you are the Son of God, and will prove what faith you have in your Father. That was the second temptation of Christ by the devil, essentially telling him that how could he know he was the Son of God if he did not perform an act that would ultimately prove that it was correct or not, and that would also reveal to humans whether it was correct or not. But you heard and rejected the offer, and did not yield, and did not throw yourself down. Oh, of course, in this you acted proudly and magnificently like God, but mankind, that weak, rebellious tribe, are they gods? Oh, you knew then that if you made just one step, just one movement towards throwing yourself down, you would immediately have tempted the Lord and would have lost all faith in him, and have been dashed against the earth you came to save, and the intelligent spirit who was tempting you would rejoice. But I repeat, are there many like you? And indeed, could you possibly have assumed, even for a moment, that mankind too would be strong enough for such a temptation? Is that how human nature was created? To reject the miracle, and in those terrible moments of life, the moments of the most terrible, essential, and tormenting questions of the soul, to remain only with the free decision of the heart? Oh, you knew that your deed would be preserved in books, would reach the depths of the ages and the utmost limit of the earth, and you hoped that, following you, man too would remain with God, having no need of miracles. But you did not know that as soon as man rejects miracles, he will at once reject God as well. For man seeks not so much God as miracles, and since man cannot bear to be left without miracles, he will go and create new miracles for himself, his own miracles this time, and will bow down to the miracles of quacks or women's magic, though he be rebellious, heretical, and godless 100 times over. So again, more of the same, in different words. You did not come down from the cross when they shouted to you, mocking and reviling you. Come down from the cross and we will believe that it is you. You did not come down because, again, you did not want to slave man by a miracle, and thirsted for faith that is free, not miraculous. You thirsted for love that is free, and not for the servile raptures of a slave before a power that has left him permanently terrified. So essentially, also in the speech leading up to the Grand Inquisitor, Ivan poses this paradox that he has with humans, because humans are not gods, although you could say they are created in God's image. That is the teaching of the Bible. But they're not animals neither, and for Ivan, humans are worse than animals, because animals are not capable of such cruelty as man is. So humans are left sort of as in-between beings, both blessed and tormented by their freedom and by their intellect, but unable to aspire, not unable to achieve the divinity of God, but also unable to reject, unable to achieve the simplicity of a beast. And in that lies all of the human suffering. The Grand Inquisitor goes on a lot longer. I'll try to find another passage here which will go a little bit further. Yeah. So again, Grand Inquisitor still goes in his monologue. Jesus is completely silent. Oh, we will allow them to sin too. They are weak and powerless, and they will love us like children for allowing them to sin. We will tell them that every sin will be redeemed if it is committed with our permission, and that we allow them to sin because we love them. And as for the punishment for these sins, very well, we take it upon ourselves. And we will take it upon ourselves, and they will adore us as benefactors who have borne their sins before God, and they will have no secrets from us. We will allow or forbid them to live with their wives and mistresses, to have or not have children, all depending on their obedience, and they will submit to us gladly and joyfully. The most tormenting secrets of their conscience, all they will bring to us, and we will decide all things, and they will joyfully believe our decision, because it will deliver them from their great care and their present terrible torments of personal and free decision. And everyone will be happy, all the millions of creatures, except for the 100,000 of those who govern them. For only we who keep the mystery, only we shall be unhappy. There will be thousands of millions of happy babes and a happy 100,000 sufferers who have taken upon themselves the curse of the knowledge of good and evil. Peacefully they will die. Peacefully they will expire in your name, and beyond the grave they will find only death. So this is incredibly blasphemous again, by Dostoevsky posing here that the Grand Inquisitor, essentially a man of the church, does not believe in either God nor immortality, and it establishes the church itself as a authoritative and tyrannical structure that has filled the vacuum of power left behind by Jesus, because man needs an authority to bow down to. But we will keep the secret, and for their own happiness we will entice them with a heavenly and eternal reward. For even if there were anything in the next world, it would not, of course, be for such as they. It is said and prophesied that you will come and once more be victorious. You will come with your chosen ones, with your proud and mighty ones, but we will say that they saved only themselves, while we have saved everyone. It is said that the harlot who sits upon the beast and holds mystery in her hands will be disgraced, that the feeble will rebel again, and that they will tear her purple and strip bare her loathsome body. That is from the Revelation in the Bible. But then I will stand up and point out to you the thousands of millions of happy babes who do not know sin. And we who took their sins upon ourselves for their happiness, we will stand before you and say, judge us if you can and dare. Know that I am not afraid of you. Know that I too was in the wilderness, and I too ate locusts and roots, that I too blessed freedom with which you have blessed mankind, and I too was preparing to enter the number of your chosen ones, the number of the strong and mighty, with a thirst that the number be complete. But I awoke and did not want to serve madness. I returned and joined the host of those who have corrected your deed. He's really laying a big scolding on Jesus here. Yeah. And the Grand Inquisitor finishes, tomorrow, I repeat, you will see this obedient flock, which at my first gesture will rush to heap hot coals around your stake, at which I shall burn you for having come to interfere with us. For if everyone has ever deserved our stake, it is you. Tomorrow I shall burn you. Yeah. So that's quite a story that Ivan has written here. Yeah. Alyosha then, cries out. Is quite perplexed and frustrated with Ivan's story. But he goes back. The story is almost over. Ivan says, I was going to end it like this. So this is Ivan telling Alyosha. When the Inquisitor fell silent, he waited some time for his prisoner to reply. His silence waited on him. He had seen how the captive listened to him all the while, intently and calmly, looking him straight in the eye and apparently not wishing to contradict anything. The old man would have liked him to say something, even something bitter, terrible. But suddenly he approaches the old man in silence and gently kisses him on his bloodless 90-year-old lips. That is the whole answer. The old man shudders. Something stirs at the corners of his mouth. He walks to the door, opens it, and says to him, "Go and do not come again. Do not come at all. Never, never." And he lets him out into the dark squares of the city. The prisoner goes away. And the old man? The kiss burns in his heart, but the old man holds to his former idea. So up until the very ending, it's a very cynical tale, but Ivan also includes in it the Christian answer, which is not with words, but which is with a kiss, with an act of love against his tormentors. And in the story, that is what sets him free. The Grand Inquisitor is unable to carry out his plan to burn Jesus at the stake in the face of the love that he receives from him. Yeah, so I mean, what to make of this? The whole chapter is longer than I read here, but it is incredibly powerful. And after this chapter, we then go into a recollection of the life and experience of Susima. So in that chapter, we get the answer of Christ, or the answer of Christianity to the human condition in way of words, whereas in the Grand Inquisitor, we get it through an act of love. So Dostoevsky poses both things. But indeed, if you're struggling to read Brothers Karamazov or Dostoevsky, you may want to think about it more as a philosophical or non-fiction text, or even as a play. Nabokov did not particularly like Dostoevsky, but he did call him a national playwright. And indeed, when you read it, in a way, you feel like you're reading a play. You're reading something that could be performed on a stage, because most of it is people sort of going to different places and then having these monologues and dialogues and with each other, and that is essentially most of the story. So it is not a narrative that is unfolding with a lot of sort of development of the story. It is mostly different set pieces which takes place in one location, and which is essentially people talking together. And I think that is the way you have to approach this novel. So yeah, I don't think I spoiled anything here, because you cannot really spoil it. But perhaps the Grand Inquisitor inspired you to pick up this novel. I would certainly hope so. It's an incredibly powerful read. Thank you.